Miguel Falde, often considered the father of Danzon. Falde, a Cuban musician, composed the first Danzon, Las Alturas de Simpson. Without Falde, the slow tempo and partner dance choreography, two fundamental elements of Danzon, would not have existed. Inspired by his heritage, Falde blended European melodic phrases and instruments with African polyrhythms and animated dance styles. The characteristics of Las Alturas de Simpson became the hallmark of all Danzon songs, a cinquillo rhythm in the melody and bass line, and a rondo structure. The genre transformed from the two-part contradanza to the multi-sectioned danzon with the introduction of the rondo. While the music shared similarities with the contradanza and the danza, the uniqueness of danzon came from its complex choreography, including the paseo and cadena, slow movement dance steps, and the sedazo and sostenido, brisk dance movements, accompanied by improvisations from the band. Although initially deemed too vulgar and passionate by bourgeois society, danzon's rich history, popularity, and profound impact on Cuban culture led it to become the official dance of Cuba, inspiring subsequent genres such as Mambo and cha-cha-cha throughout Latin culture. This fusion of European melodic phrases and instruments with African polyrhythms and lively dance styles made danzon a unique and distinctive musical genre, reflecting the intricate cultural tapestry of Cuba. Through the danzon, the Cuban people embraced a blend of rhythmic complexity and sensual movement that continues to be a beloved part of their cultural identity. As we leave behind the elegant sway of the danzon, we now embark on a journey to the bustling streets of 1930s Havana, where a symphony of African, Spanish, and indigenous musical traditions intertwined, giving birth to a new rhythm. This rhythm, the Mambo, reverberated far beyond its island origin, setting hearts and feet ablaze around the globe. Rooted in the cultural heartbeat of Cuba, Mambo fused syncopated beats with entrancing melodies, defining an era and encapsulating the nation's cultural prowess. However, the term Mambo encapsulates a multitude of different things. It can refer to a style of music, a specific rhythm played by a cowbell in a salsa song, or a melodic line played by brass instruments. Here, we specifically explore the Cuban Mambo, a musical style pioneered by Israel Cachao Lopez in the 1930s. Cachao spent much of this decade playing danzon music with Antonio Arcano and his charanga. Arcano y sus Maravillas. It was within this ensemble that Cachao began composing Danzon Mambo songs, which started as Danzon, but transitioned into a contrasting final section emphasizing traditional Afro-Cuban rhythms and syncopated melodic phrases. This final section, known as the Mambo, would eventually evolve into a standalone musical style. The origins of the Mambo trace back to the dynamic music scene of Cuba in the late 1930s. At this time, the Cuban music culture was blossoming under a fusion of diverse influences, including African rhythms, Spanish melodies, and the burgeoning innovations from American jazz. Were the Lopez brothers, Orestes and Israel, affectionately known as Cachao. These virtuosic musicians were deeply entrenched in the tradition of the danzon. In 1938, they composed a danzon titled Mambo, which introduced a new syncopated section called Nuevo Ritmo. This crucial innovation, infusing a swing rhythm into the final section of the danzon, is often considered the birth of the mambo genre. This transformative sound, with its seductive mix of intricate rhythms and driving pulse, didn't take long to captivate audiences and musicians alike. The mambo, with its roots in Cuban tradition and its branches reaching towards the future, began to define a new era of Cuban music. As with the music itself, the mambo dance was a fusion of earlier Cuban dances with American jazz influences, creating a unique and highly energetic dance form. Dancers moved in a quick, slow rhythm, their movements punctuated with complex footwork and dynamic turns. The dance embodied the music's spirit, making it a favorite in social dance scenes. The basic pattern of mambo dance matches the music's rhythm. Dancers, usually in pairs, perform synchronized, complex movements, including quick footwork, spins, and dramatic turns. A unique feature of mambo is the break step, where dancers change direction on the second and third beats of the bar. This unpredictability sets mambo apart from other Latin dances. Dancers keep their upper body strong and upright while their hips move freely, adding a sensual element to the dance. Dancers often improvise, adding personal flair to the dance, which makes it spontaneous and exciting to watch. While the Lopez brothers laid the foundations, it was Damaso Perez Prado, also known as the King of Mambo, who took mambo to the world stage. Born in Matanzas, Cuba, in 1916, Perez Prado began his journey in local jazz bands before joining the Orquesta Casino de la Playa, where he honed his skills and began to develop his style. In the late 1940s, Perez Prado moved to Mexico. It was here that he truly refined his take on the mambo. Forming his own orchestra, Prado began to create a new, electrifying version of mambo that combined jazz harmonies, Cuban rhythms, and his unique sense of musical drama. His compositions, including the world-famous Mambo No. 5 and Mambo No. 8, became international sensations. Through his music, Perez Prado transmitted the spirit of the mambo to the world. He elevated the mambo from its roots in the Afro-Cuban tradition and placed it firmly on the global stage, influencing generations of musicians, composers, and dancers. In its journey from the dance halls of Cuba to the global stage, mambo has told a story. It is a story of cultural fusion, innovation, and the unyielding spirit of a nation expressed through the universal language of music and dance. The mambo, much like Cuba itself, is a vibrant blend of cultures, ideas, and traditions, coalescing into an art form that is both uniquely Cuban and universally appreciated.